Pecha Kucha 199, South Park, The Stick of Truth, and some other stuff. A bit of an up and down week. A lot of highlights, a lot of lowlights. Definitely South Park, The Stick of Truth was the highlight of my week. I bought it a while ago, kind of sat on it, and then did some stuff this week that just kind of bummed me out. Specifically playing Shadow of War, the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, on the highest difficulty setting. It's a game with a lot of wasted opportunities in terms of its narrative, and it was a bit of a political hot potato when it first came out because they added a lot of pay-to-win features, or they claimed they didn't. In the end, the game, I just got sick of it, and I just decided, let's just watch the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and actually have a good time with no penalties. I will be watching the third film later on today again, and fun will be had, I have no doubt. So one of the main protagonists of the games is Celebrimbor. I was drawing some crappy pictures of him. I've sort of forgotten at the time what constitutes facial structure, and I realised this when I put the pencil down, metaphorically speaking, why it just felt like the work of a 5-year-old. I was trying to figure out how to draw ostensibly what is a very plain character. He wears a circlet that's and has slightly pointy ears. That's the only thing that's going on. Other than that, I just need to know how to render faces quite accurately, and couldn't quite figure out how until I actually got an actual piece of paper and an actual pencil and let my brain do what it's supposed to do. You know, eyeballs sit under the eyelids, they sit in the eye socket. You know, the face is a 3D structure, and it somehow just slipped my mind. So Sauron, the big main bad guy in the game, is represented as a shady elf whispering, you know, evil secrets into people's ears. So I was trying to capture that as well. I just wanted to do headshots of anything. Just, you know, sometimes you just need to have a pencil in your hand. Goblins and orcs really constitute the only saving grace of the game. The rivalries you have with them define the quality of your gaming experience. On the hardest difficulty setting, they are impossibly cheap, and I fought the good fight, but in the end, like Talion, the other main character, it all becomes a bit too much, and the monotony of it can truly drive a man insane. Not a bad game, but definitely not a good one. But I'm feeling a lot better about these little thumbnail headshots I did on paper than I was about the stuff I was doing in Manga Studio. So South Park, The Stick of Truth. I bought it on Steam on sale, and the thing most of the reviews were saying is it's like playing an episode of South Park, and that is exactly what it is. It's a 10 to 15 hour episode of South Park, which I haven't watched South Park in a decade, but I had a blast. There are two things to note. It is non-stop full of toilet humour. If you have a problem with toilet humour, do not do this game, because you're never going to be comfortable with it. It's also the most offensive 15 hours of my life. I can't believe what they got away with, but it's also worth pointing out I'm playing this game in 2020 and it was made in 2014. It's amazing how much people's tolerance for rudeness has changed in the last decade. I don't know if this could have come out right now. One of the core things that makes it interesting is it has a silent protagonist, which I've always hated. BioShock's an excellent example of a stupid silent protagonist. There's arguably reasons for that. In South Park, they openly mock the trope. They make use of it for their own ends, and I find it refreshing and entertaining. What's even more surprising about this game is there's actually a good game here. It's not very long, but I will never look at turn-based action RPGs again, because the mechanics of this game are actually solid. And there is a little bit of the game where you head to Canada, and I don't want to say anything about it, but it is both excellent and extremely offensive. I can't imagine. I imagine if you're Canadian, you would just roll your eyes and laugh it off, because what else are you going to do? and the game has other things in it that make no sense, that are hilarious. This picture of David Hasselhoff is not irrelevant to that statement. I'm not going to say anything else. This is South Park at its finest. Not that I have any, relevant frame of reference from the last 10 years, but highly recommended if you're a fan of South Park. I was listening to some King of Fighters music, and this picture of Rugal Bernstein is animated. It's a 2D image. He's swirling his wine glass. He's doing a cheeky little wry smile. How is a 2D image animated like that? Using Spine. This is something I could do because it's functionally not that far beyond simply starting with a very strong static image, anchoring. It's like making a puppet using split pins. You just anchor the elbows and then you can move the arm, right? So Sad Clown of the Week is kind of a double bill. Battle Chasers Night War is a game I got around to playing this week as well. Art directed by Joe Madureira, the famous 90s Marvel comic book artist who is, also a video game developer. And after playing South Park, it's just too slow, it's just too boring. It's a shame because the last thing that these guys made was Darksiders, which was good at its onset, especially the first game. The second game was okay, the third game's crap. I think they're on the fourth or the fifth. It's a THQ game, and if you know anything about THQ games, the best of them are usually 7.5 out of 10 experiences. It's a pity, and I probably would have a less brutal opinion of Battle Chasers if I hadn't played it in the same week as South Park. But there you go. It's not worth my time, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So that brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 199, and I'll see you next time.